Welcome to Wild, Women in Lending Determined to Make an Impact. I'm your host, Robyn LaVassaur. They say our biggest fear isn't being inadequate. It's being powerful beyond measure. In this podcast, I will share how to break through imaginary ceilings, lean into success, discovering your purpose, and understanding how to create the business and life of your dreams. From failures to triumphs and all the tactics in between, let's jump into the wild arena together. Welcome back to Wild with Robyn LaVassaur. Would you ever want to run for 10 years? I'm not a runner, so I certainly am not. I think Forrest Gump is probably the person that I knew that ran the furthest, and we all know that wasn't totally real. But in business, you often want to go on a run or have a great run. And one of the things that I think that we likely don't do a very good job of is having balance with how far ahead that we're looking and planning and envisioning what our business looks like if we were to go on a run, and then putting tactical, practical pieces to why you would want to go on that run and how much control you truly have over it. So I'm going to give you an example that I think will really hit home. And it's something that I have to give credit to the owner of our company, Todd Screama. He is phenomenal at breaking things down and making them simpler and more clear than what I personally am capable of doing, and that I know that many people are capable of doing. And he also has this beautiful gift of seeing 3 to 5 to 10 years ahead. So one of the quests that Summit Funding has been on is actually to develop 500 loan officers and stop there, stop at 500 and have a cumulative average of 10 loans a month. 10 loans a month. And the other day I was actually recording a podcast with Todd on the Be Your Best series. And as we were talking through it, we were talking about why 10 loans? Why double digits? And I think a lot of people would say, and I'm one of them, who said, I don't want to. I don't have to grow that much. I don't have to be that big. I don't need to be a 10 unit a month producer. What I really was saying was, I'm not confident that I could do it. I'm scared of the amount of work or the amount of problems or the amount of frustrations, the lack of time I would have in my marriage and with my family. There are a lot of things that I was putting in the way, because the truth is, if I could tell you, hey, you'd work 40 hours a week and love the heck out of who you picked up the phone for, and you might not like it every single day, but overall you loved it and felt very fulfilled, and you could close 10 loans a month every single month, anybody would sign up unless you're already doing more than that. But why? Why is it so valuable to potentially do 10 loans? Well, as they were discussing it, I was kind of grilling him on it. Like, what does it really mean to you? What does it mean to the people, to each individual loan officer, if they were able to go on a run of 10 loans a month on average? And he said, let's talk about the 10-year run. And it was so good that I can't help but share it with all of you. So a 10-year run where you average 10 units a month, which is likely at a minimum a 3-year build. Just so you know, 3 years it will take you to get on that 10-year run. So not even started, right? It's much like an Olympic athlete, right? They do 3 years of training to then go to the next Olympics. So you're training for at least 3 years to build yourself into a consistent double-digit producer. A lot of us skip that 3 years, and then we do this, the roller coaster up and down around producing 10 units a month for 10 straight years. Well, let me tell you what it does, and I'm a testament to this story, and I didn't even realize it. So Todd says, let's break it down into numbers. Again, very good at just simplifying and making something so clear is a huge benefit when you're feeling emotional. If you can really get granular on some of the details, but simplify and use numbers because they're tactical rather than emotional. So Todd says, let's talk about what 10 units a month on average in America would mean to an originator. And the truth is, 10 units a month breaks down as $480,000 in average income gross. So if you were grossing $480,000, you're grossing around $40,000 in a month. And so if you're grossing $40,000 in a month, you're likely taking home somewhere around $25,000 to $28,000 of take-home pay. If before your take-home pay, you maxed your 401k every single year, however long it takes you, and just a total side note, max it early so it can earn interest all year long, right? Max it early so it can earn interest all year long. And do your very best to truly hit the max every single year in 401k. So with that rule, if you were investing out of your $480,000 gross, the max allowed right now, I believe it's around $23,500 into 401k. And in addition to that, out of your take-home pay, you were setting aside $5,000 every single month and investing it into a fund. There's an Admiral Vanguard fund that literally averages, I think, over 30 years. And keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I think it averages around 10 to 12.5% on a 30-year run average of return rate. That's incredible. So if you were to put $5,000, let's just call it invested period, so out of your typical savings and invested in the market, based on those returns in 10 years, averaging 10 loans a month, doing that $5,000 a month savings, in addition to maxing your 401k, you would have approximately $5.2 million in 10 years. $5.2 million in 10 years. At the end of that 10 years, if you said, I'm done savings $5,000 a month, I'm not going to max my 401k anymore, but I'm going to leave all that money for another 10 years. I'm just going to leave it sitting. You would end up with it invested based on 30 years of data and compound interest with over $14 million in cash net worth. So let's say the first 3 to 5 years of your origination career were simply build years, developing the skills, creating the referral partners, building your leads, and then you went on a 10-year run. And your 10-year run simply was on average 10 loans a month. And at the end of that 10 years, if somebody said to you in any working circumstance when you were at 18 years old, would you work or train for 3 to 5 years to then do 10 years worth of some of your best work to create $5+ million in cash net worth? And if it sat there and you stayed in the business and didn't touch it for another 10 years, regardless of the results during those 10 years, it turned into 14. Imagine having essentially around a 30-year career with 10 of it, averaging 10, that then created 14, double digits in the millions in wealth. What could you do in your life for your family, for your community, for a business, for a mission, charity? There are so many endless options of being good stewards of that money, of that wealth in our beautiful country, right? Land of the free, home of the brave, that you could then contribute back, because money is simply a tool to make life a little easier, not easy in all ways, and a little more fun, and ultimately be able to give you more of a generous spirit in those spaces. And what a gift that 10-year run ultimately would provide for you, and I would bet even future generations of you in your family. So this episode was helpful, and you've thought about going on a 10-year run, you want more details, don't be afraid to reach out and message myself, even Todd Screamer, our owner, and I hope that you share this with somebody else, and good luck on your 10-year run. We'll see you soon.